What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about why men don't take you seriously when you pull away, okay? And how to get them to take you a little more seriously if you pull away. Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I will love you forever, along with the bell notification to get my videos right away. And if you want to work with yours truly, link is down in the description. So, jumping right into this, I have a lot of women who come to me and talk to me about, they pull away and the guy doesn't give a shit, or they pull away and the guy, he doesn't take them seriously. And again, I get this in my comments, my emails, my DMs, my phone sessions, and they wonder what the hell's going on. Why am I caring so much, and why does it make a difference with me but not them? And the first thing I want to say is, women, when you pull away, it's usually reactionary, meaning you're doing it to get some type of result or reaction from the guy, okay? So either to get him to come back, to regain power, to get him to realize what he lost, to him not take you for granted, or something like that. And that alone means you lost, okay? And there's two reasons why. For one, you're negotiating with a guy where you're outcome based. You're looking for a result. When you're talking to a guy who isn't, well, then, you're going to keep on, in a way, subconsciously negotiating to get what you want because you're looking for an outcome, okay, unlike him. Which leads me to the other reason, which is because you're reactionary, you're usually doing it after he does something such as pulling away, changing up his game, not initiating or texting as much, and things like that. And because of this, okay, you're doing it with a guy who either has a lack of attraction, who doesn't give a shit, or you're doing it and you're becoming very convenient because if you're like, oh, well, I'm going to pull away, then he's like, well, this is great. I don't have to answer or talk to her or anything. She's pulling away. She's trying to pull this game on me, and I don't give a shit, So that's one of the reasons why it doesn't work out for you. The other reason it doesn't work out for you, and I talked about this in my last video, which I will link over here somewhere, which is accessibility. There's two types of accessibility. There's the concrete, black and white one that we're all familiar with, which is, well, I'm going to just cut off access, whether that's not initiating as much, not texting right away, not reaching out, or no contact for X amount of days or weeks or a month. Usually it's 2 weeks or a month or something like that. So there's that way where the woman has control of it. But again, then there's the second way now, which is if you're doing it in terms of reactionary, there's context. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like context accessibility, meaning despite you doing that, everything up to that point kind of contradicts your actions. Like if he knows he has you, or believes, if he believes he has you and everything, and he knows you like him, and he knows you're looking for an outcome, and again, he knows where you're at, and maybe this has happened before to come and go and you let him back in, he knows he has accessibility to you, okay? And if you're going to try to pull this game, he's not going to react as fast, or he's going to call your bluff and say, I don't really need to act on it because I know she likes me. If I really wanted her, I could just come back and beg, or come back and say I'm sorry, or come back or this, or come back, whatever it is, and you're going to let him back in. And that's usually what happens. You give the guy the benefit of the doubt for some reason because you like him. You have a like bias. You justify. You don't qualify a guy. And if a guy knows this, trust me, if a guy knows this, then you are screwed. So the reason he's not taking you seriously is, I guess, threefold. It's the accessibility thing I just talked about. It's it's because you're reactionary with it. Okay, you're reactionary in terms of you're doing it, I guess, at the wrong time. You're doing it to get a result. You're doing it to regain some power. You're basically in a horrible negotiation position. Okay, and three, you usually let a guy back in. Okay, those are the reasons why it doesn't work out for you. Now, to counter this, you have to kind of be independent from the outcome. You have to pull away for the right reasons, which again I talk about in my last video. I will link over here. you have to pull away for standards, for self-respect, not to put up with the bullshit anymore. That's why you do it, not to get an outcome. If you're doing it to get an outcome, it's not going to work, because if a guy knows, it's like you're looking for gold, and to get gold, you need this map, okay? He knows what you're looking for. You made it very obvious what you're looking for. He's going to give you the map. You value this map, okay? You value his attention, value his validation, his approval, his resources. Oh man, this is coffee, and all that kind of stuff. He's going to buy what you're selling, right? And vice versa. Like he knows what you want. And so when he puts that in front of you, you're like, ooh, and women just fall for it all the time. That's why you're not taken seriously. You're like a dog with a very, very, very powerful bark, but no bite. And as soon as he realizes that, as soon as he, puts his hand over there and he realizes the dog, is licking his hand and not actually biting, well, now you're screwed. Your whole demeanor, your whole aura of this strong, powerful, I stand up for what I want, independent woman goes down the drain when he calls your bluff. And there will be a time when I'm not saying men are like this, I'm just saying women in this situation, right? There's going to be a time where somehow he finds out, whether through you saying something, saying too much, and moving too fast, and you going along with it, exposing you spilling your heart, the how fast it moves in the anything, right? The amount of resources you invested versus what he's invested, you saying you want something serious, and he anything. You're exposed, and he will take advantage of that if he can, okay? And that doesn't make him a bad guy. That's just common sense. If a lot of women will come to me and they'll always say, well, Elliot, the guy doesn't want a relationship, then why does he keep talking to me? Well, because there's a lot of reasons to talk to you, just other than a relationship. Maybe you're attractive. Maybe you have good sugar walls. Maybe you are fun to talk to. You're fun to hang out with. You're cool. You're awesome. You're the only girl I'm talking to. That doesn't mean I want a relationship, right? He's still going to come around for these assets. Okay, that doesn't make him a bad guy unless he's manipulating you to get those. Then yes, he's a piece of shit. But a guy is going to come around and say, I'm sorry. A guy is going to come around again and say, I apologize, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, if he's genuine with it and he's honest and he says what he does wrong and he says that he's going to change and he says that he wants to work towards something again, and he describes that he's on the same page as you, okay, that's good. Give him, I don't want to say give him the benefit of the doubt, because again, the guys will bullshit a woman, but just, I think it's better that he verbally says that, because it's out there. And if he lies, it's like, wow, dude, you are a real piece of shit. You literally told me step by step or word by word that you're wanting the same thing with me. You're on the same page. We agreed, and you're a liar. And then that's how you know for sure to get rid of the guy, right? But the guys will try these tricks on you. Guys will try to get away with anything. And that's not just men, that's people in general. It's human nature, right? To try to get an advantage with a lack of resources. You can look at that in terms of sales and discounts, coupons, deals, anything. That's just how it is, okay? That's human nature. And if he can get you hooked by calling your bluff and you do it, of course he's going to go along with it. So ladies, you have to be taken seriously, okay? And the way to do that is to kind of hold your ground, have some self-respect, and don't just cave in. Make the guy work for those, make the guy invest those resources if he's pulling this bullshit. He will come and go. But the reason you lose, like I said, 3 things. Accessibility, I think you're a horrible negotiator, and you don't follow through. You always cave in, okay? So that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care, and peace.